So a lot of people like to document their successes, but not their failures. And this is a Phitrantha Otto Anderson that has been struggling since I got it, basically. I didn't treat it any differently than I do any of my other Jaboticabas. And sometimes they don't have what it's got to make it. I'll keep seeing if it'll come back. I won't get rid of him, but as soon as he turns into dust, I'll take him out. But I've had some other ones. Where's it at? So these batch of these Oriana seeds that I started last year. Actually, it's been almost a year. Planted 0324 from seed. So this is about how big they get after a year in Florida. I think one of them it came up and it looked good for a while, and it just pittered off and kind of turned into dust like the one I just showed you. And even out of that batch of seeds, I've got one over here is still struggling. This one's kind of coming through. I think it's just being difficult. You can see it's got some nice new growth on there, but it just looks terrible just compared to the other ones. Don't know why. Something just weird going on. I'm sure it's maybe a particular scoop of the soil that I used, or maybe they just got a little more light or bit by a bug in a wrong way. I don't know. But happens to me with a lot of things. Even like this little mango seedling here. I didn't really take care of this at all, but this is my first time growing mangoes from seed. So I've got a couple of them that look all right. This one got a little burnt up. I think this may have been from the cold. I don't know, but they're putting out nice new growth. I think they were just having a little bit of a hard time at first, but yeah, I did maybe, I don't know, 10. Yeah, here's another one. This one, it's been long dead, but I kind of gave up on that. Same soil mixture and everything for all of them, and some of them just coming through and some of them don't. Like even my pepper plants, man. Like I think I grew 20 of these 7-pot bubblegum seeds, and it took me 2 tries, and I finally got them to pop up. They're just kind of difficult, whereas like I've got these lemon drops that are basically a weed. They were sowing themselves in my yard for a while until I rearranged things, but just come over here to look at these, like as an example, like these lemon drops here, like they come from a pod that was like over, yeah, it needs more water, over a year old, dried up, and within a week they popped up. And then I've got some seeds over here from a chocolate ghost pepper, and they're not popping up at all yet. It's not been quite a week yet, but these guys are just doing so much better. Even just to show something that's going on right now, let's see if I can find it. So I've got right here, there's a Cambuca seed that I've got, and this one's doing pretty good. At least it looks like it is. Sowed at the same time as this one, but this one popped up first, but it's just kind of struggling. I don't know what's going on with it. I know some of the Eugenias kind of do this thing where they pop up and then die off and then pop up and die off, and they keep doing that over and over. Kind of like my little, what's it called? The Pitanga Restinga that I made a short on. Trying to find some other things. Like, here's another example. Yeah, you can see I've got a whole bunch of Jaboticabas in here that I've grown from seed. Like over here, there's some ferns growing in them, but these are all red seedlings. So like I know what I'm doing. Germinating Jaboticaba seeds. I've gotten pretty good at it over the past couple of years. But even over here, I've got a whole bunch of Sabros, and they're just taking a while to pop up. And you can see this one's just looking pathetic. Like it's a very tiny, tiny, tiny seedling. Even this one here, just very, very pitiful looking. I can see a couple of them starting to pop up more. So these have been in here since November, and I've had a couple of them over here. These are from the exact same batch of seeds from Oscar at Fruit Lovers. You know, these are popping up just fine. Like, these are about what I would expect for a couple months. Yeah, so not all success is all the time. I know freshness of the seeds matter a lot. And actually, I got these Myrcearia Vexator seedlings also from Oscar. This one's actually dried out, so this is me messing up. I'm sure they're fine. It still feels moist. They just look a little dried up. But yeah, these have not sprouted since November. I haven't had much luck with Oscar's seeds. All those seeds that I get from Bellamy, for the most part, come up if it's not something I did wrong. But I'm trying to think if there's any other things. Yeah, so I'll go over here even. So talking about pepper seeds again. Again, I'm sure some of it is failure on my part. But when you do some things consistently and you have failures and successes, that's where it gets interesting. Yeah, like this thing here. So this is like a purple pepper. They're supposed to make peppers that are much bigger than that. But it's got like a nice dark purple flower. You can kind of see it here. Trying to get it to focus. Yeah, there we go. And they're just kind of doing pitifully. I don't treat them any differently than my other pepper plants. At least when I start them, I just kind of stopped caring about them at this point. But at first, whenever I had them, they bloomed heavily, never set fruit. They've always had this really tiny foliage. They probably need nitrogen, maybe. But I hit them pretty hard with some. I use organic fertilizer on them, but was it the Vegetone several times, and they seem to respond pretty well. But I mean, here's a Carolina Reaper that I have. That they look kind of pitiful if you don't prune them back. I'm just kind of letting this one do what it wants, but it's looking pretty good for being in a pot. It's in one of those cloth bags, you can't really see it, but it probably actually needs a heavy hit of nitrogen right now, which maybe I'll go ahead and do that. There's a lizard hanging out here. Look at him. Look at him. But you can see, like, doing the exact same thing, same species of plants, different results. So sometimes things just don't work out. Actually, here's some other examples. Remember those cacao seeds? This is definitely, if we come over here, something that was interesting is I'm sure I messed these up. This is my first time trying it. I've got a couple of them that have popped up. Only the yellow ones popped up. I had the red plant, and the red ones all, I think they're, let's see, yeah, they just rotted, just completely rotted. Maybe too much moisture, I don't know. The yellow ones can handle it, I guess, which is probably better for Florida. But so I got this other cacao seedling right here. This is another yellow, but all planted at the same time from the same pod, various stages. So that's why I always buy a whole bunch of seeds, expecting to only get one plant out of them. But back onto the cacao over here. I don't know if I showed this in the video, but I basically came over here around the starfruit and I threw all of my spent cacao pods just in here. And when I did that, I was like, you know what, I've got too many seeds. Let's see what happens if I try to directly sow them. And I'm looking in here and I don't see any. I know there's one, which is what I'm getting at. So out of like maybe 50 seeds of red and yellow, we come around over here and I put them all in here. Out of 50 seeds, we've got one, and he's right here. And I have a feeling, let's see it. I have a feeling the reason this one did so well is because he is inside this mound of coffee grounds, which are pretty good at holding moisture, and there's a lot of nutrition in there, so I'm sure it's, I don't know if it's gonna come through. See, it looks like it tried to put a leaf out, but maybe it got too hot for it. We'll see if it comes through. It's still green, so I'm sure it'll be fine, but you know, it's another example of like just random, you get a random strong plant and it just does much better. So I like to show off things that I'm doing that look nice or whatever, but for every success I have, there's like a million failures. So I don't want people to feel like they're having a hard time and be like, oh man, everyone else, they're so much better because you're doing so good. It's so easy for you. It's like, it's all about persistence. And I never really had anything come to me very easily. Personally, it's just me being hard-headed more than anything. So these oranges are still ripening up. Probably June they'll be good. But yeah, there's something I wanted to talk about. Actually, this thing actually set fruit down here on this. I'm debating on whether or not I should remove it because it's kind of cool that it did that. But it's such a small mango, it won't be able to support it. But yeah. Anywho, that's all I got to say. Y'all take care.